I admire your patience. This is the Dead Dodge Garage. I'm a Barracuda Hoarder Sunday special. Welcome to it. Sometime soon people will jump in here. It doesn't take long. Ah, there's someone now. Hello out there. There's always a bit of a time delay, but I see a couple people have joined. Hello, welcome. Brian, hello, how you doing? What's happening? Alex! Wisdom Vendor, how you doing? Harrison, hello. Welcome to the Dead Dodge Garage Sunday special. Happy Sunday, Dan. It's going good. I think your wife is on my Facebook page, and I think she might have thrown you under the bus for hoarding all the Barracudas. I'm trying to do my part to help. Holy crap, Miles is here. What did I say? I don't remember. I said hey to Wisdom Vendor, right? I think I did. Yeah, you're missing all the action. It's over on my Facebook page. Someone with the last... Oh. Dan's wife wants a charger. Hard to blame her. Which year? I spent my day doing Slant 6 Barracuda stuff. More on that later. Yeah, there's like 10 people out there. Feel free to say hello if you haven't. Alex says, I got the step side running and put her in a show yesterday. Tagged you in the video on here. Awesome. I have to look in the actual YouTube app. It doesn't, I'm always in the studio thing. And so I don't, I never see replies to comments or people tagging me or anything like that. But I'll go through and look. Sounds cool. Wisdom Vendor. You don't have all the Barracudas, but your mine has a 67. Recently bought a 340 and a 4-speed to replace the 318 auto. Awesome. I've been tempted. No, I don't have all of them, yes. Yet. I'm working on it. Yeah, Miles beat my sister here. It's crazy. I actually saw Miles in real life today. I can't believe it. Anyway, I've been tempted. I have a V8 4-speed drivetrain sitting here in a Dart. And I've got conversion motor mounts in a box, and I could just, do awesome stuff. I also have the built 360 for the other Barracuda that I could just borrow. But I'm trying not to do that. Tom Hergert! Wow! Hello, Tom. Feel free to grade my performance. I saw my sister today. Yes, that's true. I did so many things today. I got a Slant 6 out of storage. I dug a 4-speed out of my mom's garage thing. I had insane ideas that I could have a Slant 6 and a 4-speed in a Barracuda today and running and driving. And clearly that didn't happen, but there's still tomorrow. It could happen. Dinner almost ready. Not long for chat. Fine, whatever. We eat dinner late. That's fine. Oh, apparently multiple people consume these live chats as a podcast in the future, so that's interesting. I actually do it myself, but mostly just to figure out what the heck I said and what I was talking about. So that's fine. Alex, slowly converting my girlfriend to being a fan of your videos. She always loves your humor and chuckles listening. Nice. Very cool. It's humor with a side of cars. It's really, spread the word on that one. Like, it's fun. Tom, it's 6 p.m. You still have 6 hours to get the motor in the Cuda. Well, you're not wrong. But it's not going to happen. I need a clutch. I ordered a 10-inch clutch for an 82 D150 pickup. And then when I got there, I learned that it was a 10.5-inch clutch for a D150 pickup. So I ordered the correct one for tomorrow. I also have the correct engine mount coming tomorrow. And I have to go to the junkyard and find a driver's side bracket anyway. So it'll be fine. Wisdom Fender. Pre-apologize for typos. Enjoying an adult beverage, or many, and typing sucks anyway. Cheers! Oh, that one's not good. Hey, what is happening? We're playing the Dead Dodge Garage drinking game, which, depending on how the rules you're going by go, it's either you drink every time I misspeak, which will mess you up, or if this week's anything like last week, you drink every time I say a super secret location I'm not allowed to tell you about. Your call. Alex, I need to find a new trans mount for my truck. Easy. www.o'reillyautoparts.com. Should be super easy. Should just be a spool mount. Second one. Yeah, so the fastback Barracuda came from a super secret location I'm not allowed to tell you about. But we don't need to talk about that. So I don't know if any of you have noticed. Drink. Okay, anyway. So I put out a video about Barracudas today, comparing all the different generations. Of course, I don't have an E-body Barracuda because I don't have E-body Barracuda money, but I do have a broken in half E-body Barracuda, late one, grill. It came from a super secret location I'm not allowed to tell you about. Zeke, your voice sounds different in live chat than in the videos. Yeah, iPhone's weird. The live chat is... I'm going to screw you guys up. You're welcome. Holy crap, it's Byron! Hey, Byron. Zeke, yeah, my voice does sound different. I think in the live it sounds more like what I actually sound like. When I'm behind the phone talking, I'm really loud. Actually, I was a semi-professional musician for many years, and I'm a very, very loud singer. I've done shows without a PA with no problem. And so basically, I'm just peaking the iPhone's mic all the time, and it's compressing, and so it's sort of distorted and grimy sounding. But I think that's what that's about. I have noticed it does sound different. Yeah, Byron gets it. I missed something. It's glad I've already got the bottle next to me. Tim, you're in Missouri. Sounds cold? Snowy? I don't know. Matthew Bailey, where can I find new window seals for 69 W200? For the 70s trucks, I've gotten them from Steel Rubber, STEELE rubber.com, I think. Excuse me. You can look forward to more of that. It just seems to be a running theme. I don't know if they have them for the swept line trucks. I suspect they probably do. Dang it. Down to the blue goo. Alex's girlfriend here. Managed to snag phone. Love your videos. You've been a huge help with this truck. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys watching and laughing, and I'm glad to help. That's kind of what I'm here to do. And to party. Hey, Alan, how you doing? I actually... The belch almost tastes better than the drink. Oh, my sister has a great question. Hey, just for fun, can I get an explanation of what the different car body letters mean? I know you explained it before, but it's been a while. Yeah. So basically, gotta get stretched out. In the beginning, there was one body size, give or take. Different wheelbases and stuff did exist, but basically, in the beginning, let's just say like the 40s and 50s when like all metal cars were what was then normal. Basically, Plymouth had one car. Dodge had one car. Chrysler had one car. And what they did was they built that same car at different trim levels. So you had a cheapo 6-cylinder, you had a V8, whatever. The Plymouth was a shorter car, the Dodge was a middle car, DeSoto was in there somewhere, and then Chrysler was the biggest, right? So that was the only way you would get different size cars. But the one manufacturer had one. That's all they had. And then, so those were what we could call full-size cars, I suppose, but they were also only size cars. That's not the point. In the 60s, things got weird. I'm sure this happened different for every different manufacturer. I can't really say, but I know Chrysler very well, so we'll stick with that. Chrysler thought it would be a good idea to downsize Plymouth and Dodge's full-size cars in 1962 because they heard that GM was doing it. I don't remember if it was like Chevrolet was going to downsize their... I don't remember what it was, but they like scrambled and shrank their cars to try and compete with something that turned out to not exist. And also, in the doing, they totally ruined the design of the 62 cars, and they look horrible. That's a different story altogether, and some people do like them. But in so doing, they then had the full-size Chrysler, the shortened... Oh, I skipped an important detail. The shortened full-size cars that Plymouth and Dodge had, and the compact Plymouth Valiant. The Plymouth Valiant came out before that downsizing. So there was this teeny little compact car down here, and then everything else. Then they downsized that full-size car, which actually isn't a proper explanation of what they did. They upsized the Valiant. And thus, there were 3 totally different chassis. And they came to be known as A-body, which is the smallest one, B-body, which is the middle, and C, which was the biggest. Then there are also other ones throughout the years. E-body, that's Challenger and Barracuda, which is a modified B-body, which is shorter than an A-body. It makes no sense. Basically, but that's how it happened. They had a compact car, then they had a downsized car, and then a full-size car. And then moving forward, Plymouth, Dodge, all had all 3 of those. Chrysler, on the other hand, always full-size cars. They didn't do compacts or mid-size. Only big boats. So that's how that happened. Hopefully that made sense. But that's what the letters mean. It's the size, roughly it's the wheelbase and the width and whatever. The wheelbase isn't always the same either, so. But that's what they mean. Size of the car, basically. Seaman Surfer. My name is Russell, and I'm a Barracuda hoarder. Hi, Russell. Welcome to the meeting. Byron's got to make another drink. You go right ahead. Tim says, cold. It's supposed to get 2 to 3 inches of snow tomorrow night. Good luck with that. Harrison again, who says, what's up? 82 D150. Do you rebuild the slant with the 4-speed manual or swap to V8? That is a tough call. I really like the slant. And the cool thing about the 80s slant is it's the lighter weight engine with a hydraulic cam, a lighter rotating assembly. So that's a really happy free revving slant 6. Of course, it still doesn't make any power beyond like 4,500 RPM, but they're good motors. The ones I've had were happy. So they're pretty sweet, and they respond to performance modifications. Well, if you wanted to do that, the V8 is obviously the easy way to get torque. If you want muscle car sounds, V8. The 2 step sides I have are V8s, and they are fun. So yeah, but I love the Slant 6, so I'm not going to tell you to rip that out of there. It's all subjective. Excuse me. Going through the chat, I just want to beg all of you to hit the thumbs up, likey button-y thingy, because it does stuff with the algorithms and the YouTubes. If you want to like my live, I'd really appreciate it. Oh, and send me money. Alex, Hemi V8 with an auto trans. My man. Pat O'Brien, caught your chat during Yellowstone commercial. Welcome. I haven't watched Yellowstone yet. Dan Tupper, not the first time GM pulled a fast one on my Mopar. No, I hate to say it, but I don't know. I can't argue that Chrysler was the better company. I just can't. I mean, they were broke for decades and decades, but they made all my favorite stuff. A lot of what was going on in the late 60s and early 70s kind of looked like it came out of the Pontiac design studio. But there you are. Stacy, buongiorno. Like I said, Third best. Wisdom vendor. I had an E-Body Barracuda Cousin, 72 Challenger, 318, 3-speed on the floor. One owner, I bought in 1985, sold it in 90. Really wish I hadn't. I've had one E-Body. 73 Challenger, original Challenger Rally, 344 speed. The 340 was gone and it had a 400. Fun car. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was cool running around. It was yellow, of course, which I'm not a fan of. Anyway, I sold that for nowhere near enough money. It was a sweet car, but it taught me about e-bodies. And the thing about e-bodies is there's no room in them. There's no leg room. There's no luggage room. Like, I had the 66 Charger and I had the Challenger. And I like to do, like when I had cars, I'd like to do a road trip with them at least once, before I sell them. And the Challenger, we couldn't fit all our stuff in it. So, didn't. But anyway, yeah, that's how I learned about e-bodies. It was a sweet driving car. It was fun. It was, day 2 slot mags. It sat like this. It was awesome. My sister. So wait, what's an e-body? Okay, so e-body is a later letter in the alphabet because it came later. There's also a D, which is a pickup truck, so don't worry about that. There's also later an F and a G and all kinds of other letters, but that's not important. The e-body is the Challenger and the Barracuda/Cuda, 1970 to 1974. 4 years those were made, or 5 model years, 71, 2, 3, 4. Maths. They are a downsized B-body. They're actually based on the updated B-body platform that came out in 1971, but the Challenger had it in 1970. So they actually share, like, the cowl, firewall, that area is the same, and some other things are too, but anyway, they're a shortened B-body, shorter wheelbase, shorter body, so they have a super short trunk. They were supposed to compete with Mustangs and Camaros, like it was supposed to be Chrysler's pony car. And they were cool. 70 and 71, they had big engines and all kinds of horsepower. The muscle car party was over after 71, and 72, 3, and 4 Challengers and Barracudas E-bodies are small block only, low compression only, but they're still cool. Dan, the book on the V-16 aircraft engine in World War II shows GM, that was in charge of all war production, playing games with production even during wartime. Wow. Byron, had to shamelessly link the slide to my Facebook. Maybe it'll get a viewer. Also, Yellowstone is awesome. Yeah, I guess I'll have to check it out. We were talking about this last night. Unlike music that everybody loves, TV shows that everyone loves, there's a reason, and the reason is they're good. Green Weenie, we lost another B-17. I know, that was depressing. I don't know the whole story. I mean, I know what they were doing and where they were, and that it went bad. So that sucks. I'm assuming no one made it out of that. That looked crazy. Zeke, you burp like my family. We may be related. Distant cousin? Minnesota originally? No. Well, I'm really, really white, and my dad's family was from Illinois, my mom's family, Oregon, and eventually, somewhere back there, they all came from England, Ireland, etc. We could be related. I'm not saying we're not. M1, hey, how you doing? Alex, hey, I finally got to the end. If you were here for last week's live, it was just people hassling me about how to run my YouTube channel. Alex, what is your favorite paint code for classic Mopars? We kind of talked about this last week. I really like all of the shades of blue. Every one of them. B5 is great. My Demon is... I'm probably getting this wrong because I'm, again, super bad with paint codes, tire sizes, things like that. I believe my Demon is EB5. It's a 71, slightly darker B5. I like that too. B3 is that lighter blue. I love that. And B7 is just beautiful. All other blues, great. Love them. And that's my answer. Oh, my sister asks, what happened with the B-17? I believe it was yesterday. It was an air show. Now I can't remember where it was. I want to say Texas somewhere. Anyway, B-17, I don't think it was actually landing. It was doing a flyover on a strip. Or maybe something. They were performing maneuvers. And P-63 crashed into it. Dallas, yeah. Yeah, I believe they were doing a maneuver at an air show, and the smaller plane crashed into the P-17, and just it hurt to watch. I mean, for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. 6 dead. Yeah, that sounds right. Really upsetting. Well, to those guys. Drink. Yep. Prudence says so. Yeah, Stacy. Yeah, exactly. I didn't even really want to. I don't even really want to talk about it anymore. I mean, it's just crazy and upsetting to watch. But anyway, hey, welcome to the live, everybody that's hopping in. This is the Dead Dodge Garage, somewhat depressing Sunday special, where we talk about Barracudas and upsetting plane crashes in Texas. Oh, feel free to like the live stream if you don't mind. It does something. Dimitri Patakos, I believe, or Patakos. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. Hey gang, new to the channel, looking to do an EFI swap and wondering how many hours I'll have in it. It's an 87 D150 with the 5.9. Wigmom Jones, good evening. How you doing? Looking to do an EFI swap. Okay. Excuse me again. Okay, first question. Is it the factory 360 that's in it now, or is it a 5.9 Magnum? Are you putting a 5.9 Magnum in it? Are you trying to use the factory injection, or are you thinking like one of those injection kits? I'm a big advocate for a factory fuel injected system on a Magnum 5.9 or 5.2, but it works super well. It bolts right into your truck. So I don't know, again, you say 5.9, so I don't know if you mean the old school, 360, which is also 5.9, or if maybe you're dealing with the Magnum. Okay, an original engine. How do I explain this? Injection kit, got it. Carburetor replacement. If I were to give you a word of wisdom, don't. All the ones I've done, I've had problems with oxygen sensors dying. I've had problems with getting the tune right. I've had problems with fuel pumps dying. If you do a frame-mounted fuel pump, it's just bad news. You're asking to be stranded on the side of the road. Or driving your 66 Charger with Magnum fuel injection home with your daughter in the back seat and cutting out because your stupid fuel pump's dead and it's only got 400 miles on it. Now, because you're doing a D series, you do have an advantage there. You can go get a factory EFI tank from either a TBI engine, which will have a fuel pump in it that's got too low of a pressure, or an EFI Magnum 93 Dodge truck, D150 to 350, it doesn't matter. Grab that fuel tank, it bolts right into your truck, and then you've got an in-tank pump. That solves the fuel pump problem. But then you still have to plumb it and wire it, and then you have to tune it. Now, those drop-on systems obviously are self-tuning to a great degree, but there's still some stuff to figure out. It's not hard. I mean, bolting the thing on there is pretty straightforward. You're going to have to add a return fuel line, and you probably need a bigger fuel supply line. Your stock one is probably 5/16. So you're going to need to add 2 metal lines to your frame. Some guy messaged me about buying a Cummins engine. Don't worry about that. You got to plumb it, you got to wire it, you got to tune it, set it up, and then pray your oxygen sensor lives. It's not that hard to do. I've done a couple. I'm about to do another one, and we're doing that one with an in-tank pump. Important things, this is a brand new engine. Do not break in a new engine with an EFI system. Break it in with a carburetor. An EFI system will fuck up everything. How many hours? I don't know. What's your skill level? I mean, have you changed the carburetor? Can you wire a few things? Do you know how relays work? That's obviously going to be a big determining factor. There's not a ton to know, and there are a lot of really good guide videos to watch. If it were me, if you don't already have an Carter Edelbrock 600, 650-inch 4-barrel on there, I'd just put one of those on there. They just work. It's what I've got on the Charger. And I have an EFI kit in the box ready to put on that car. I don't think I'm going to do it. The carburetor works super well. It cold starts nice. It runs down the road nice. I get 15 miles a gallon-ish. I don't know that an EFI system is going to do a lot more than that. Amazing advice. Well, I tried. Again, like, it's cool. I understand it. It's like the hip thing. Everybody's doing it. My experience with them hasn't been great. So again, if you aren't, especially if you're not at the level where wiring it's nothing, plumbing it's nothing, you know, throwing it together, and then diagnosing it when shit breaks, it gets challenging. So that's all I'm saying. But it can work. I really like the Magnum engine because you bolt it in there with the factory setup. You use the factory computer. There's no tuning. There's no brains. It's so easy. You can use your factory exhaust manifolds. Like, you don't even need to change that. You add an O2 sensor bung for one O2 sensor and you're done. You do the fuel tank and the lines, you're done. It's super easy. And I will be doing a guide video on doing that on this channel eventually. It's only been a year so far. So anyway, that's my take on EFI. Those kits, I don't like them. It's not my thing. I like an Edelbrock carb, way easier to deal with. Zeke, are small block X heads better than Magnum heads? The answer is no, yes. They've got big valves and big ports. They were really good factory pieces for screaming high RPM. The Magnum is a great piece for compression, decent flow, and torque production. So that is, you know, they're kind of different things. It kind of depends on what you're trying to do. But are they better? Yeah, it's just a different animal. You know, in my eyes, a Magnum engine is for a street driving rig, and an X-head is for an all-out high-performance period engine. Of course, nowadays, the correct answer out of those two, which is the best head? Edelbrock aluminum. My sister, where's Avon? We need comic relief in the chat. Yeah, I don't know. Give it time. Alex, what are the differences between a Little Red Express and a Midnight Express? Oh, before I answer that, Tom says, I've had bad luck with cracked Magnum heads. Yes, they all crack. The thing is, they usually don't crack in such a way that matters. We've only had one actually crack and get into water and create a steam engine. I've seen lots of them cracked, but usually it's insignificant and inconsequential. It's actually rare to find them that aren't cracked. Anyway, Alex, what are the differences between a Little Red Express and a Midnight Express? Great question. I don't know. I don't know a lot about Midnight Express. They were rare, funky. I know some of them had 440s and they came in four-wheel drive. It's a very similar appearance package. I don't know if they're the same interior. I don't know. The Little Red Express is rare and weird enough. But I do know it's that same body style truck. The Warlock, the Midnight Express, the Little Red Express, and I think there's even another one that's like based on a step side. I can't think of what it is, but it's kind of the same animal. Warlocks came with different engines too. I know, or I've been led to believe that some Midnight Express trucks had 440, so that's cool. Little Red Expresses are all 360, 727 automatic, red, same package. I think they're all the same interior. Like, I think there's just one version of that truck. But air conditioning is optional. There might be something else, but I'm not totally sure. I see a lot of comments coming in. Let me try and get through all of them. Dimitri's responses. Oh, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. If you have like specific questions about one of these swaps you want to do, you can always email me. My email address is jamienoise@gmail.com. That's JAMIENOISE@gmail.com. See you, Tom. Enjoy dinner. Let me get back up through these other ones. I'll get lost and I'll forget like what day it is. M1. Hey, I did like you said, installed some bigger needles in mine, carb on the 68 satellite, and it seemed to help. Thanks again for the info. Awesome, cool. It was a couple weeks ago we were talking about that, right? Did you do the test with your pistons? Were they down? Hopefully they were down. If not, weaker springs. I hope I answered your question on step sides. I'm not an expert. I've only owned several of them. Oh yeah, Dimitri, amazing advice. I have a Reman 360 long box sitting around as well and have a weekend or two. Yeah, cool. Sounds good. Maximus Wedgie. Not sure if you sell parts. I've been looking for years for the exact same air cleaner on your 64s. Trade for a never used Mopar small block aluminum radiator plus cash? Email me, jamienoise@gmail.com. All those 64s belong to Tom. I don't know that he wants to sell an air cleaner off of one, but he may well have a stack of them in the back room. So I think we could probably help you out somehow. And we are looking for radiators for various projects. So yeah, send me a message. Wisdom Vendor, do the late 80s Magnum engines not have roller lifters? Late 80s Magnum engines don't exist. 93 is the first year for the Magnum. The late 80s engines are the TBI engine, throttle body injected. The Magnum, and they're the old school engine, but they did get roller camshafts, which is cool. Those are really good engines to start with, again, for like a street car or a muscle engine. I mean, roller cam. Great. You don't have to spend money on a conversion kit. You just have it. Just buy the cam and you're done. I don't remember what year exactly they went to roller, but basically any engine with a 302 casting number head or a 308, so that's 318 or 360, should have the roller lifters. I know all TBI engines all should by then. That was 87 and 88, depending on engine size. So yeah, they have rollers, but they're not Magnums. And incidentally, this is important information now. The first few years of Magnum, at least 93, 94, and 95, or at least some 95s, I've seen them, they are a roller 360 block. It's the same casting number. They still have the oil passageways drilled and everything. The only thing they added was the little bolt spot for the crank sensor. They're very, very similar. Almost the same. It's like they're the same. Wigwam Jones. EFI is great. If it's stock, I really hate messing with it. Agreed. I was playing with that Mega Squirt in the black truck the other day, and it gave me a headache like 3 times. Just trying to wrap my head around, like, I have years of experience diagnosing EFI and factory systems. I know what happens when this sensor goes bad, that sensor goes bad. I know a lot of the trouble codes. I have a lot of them memorized. I understand EFI. I know how it works. I've spent a lot of time with it. I kind of hate it. But, there's a computer there that's doing all the thinking. And I kind of know how to deal with it. But getting into an aftermarket system and an aftermarket setup and then trying to make all that work together. Dan says rollers didn't come till 88. Interesting. Okay. So I didn't know that. I thought it actually predated TBI, but I'm not an expert. If I made it sound like I was an expert, I apologize. Brian Seeley, any particular year Magnum for the swap, meaning what year truck to get the stuff out of? Basically, any. But what I like to do is an OBD2 RAM pickup. So it's the OBD2 computer. You can have an OBD2 diagnostic port that you hide under the dash, and then you can plug in a scanner or one of those little Bluetooth dongles and hook it to your phone. The one problem is OBD2 98 and forward, they have no provision for an engine light, so you can't have an engine light, check engine light. That's fine. My charger didn't have one. My van doesn't have one. It's all good. Just ignore it. If something really goes wrong, you'll know. But anyway, so having said that, the ones I've liked to use are 98 to 2001 RAM pickups. Also 2002 2500 and 3500 would be the same thing. 2002 1500s are the third gen body style. Those have the OBD2 system. They have a slightly better tune, spicier tune. So they're a little happier. And they have the cold idle ramp down. The first gens, or the earlier ones, OBD1 I mean, that never really seems to work right. So they don't really cold idle all that nice. OBD1 also is basically untunable. OBD2, there are things you can do. So if that's important to you, you definitely need OBD2. I've done swaps with the OBD1 and that's fine. The OBD2 engine, it just runs nicer. I don't know how to describe that, but it really does. I mean, I've had a handful of each, and the later engines are happier. So I would go with that. But if you stumble across a 95 Ram or a V8 Jeep or whatever, a Dakota, I mean, you can use that stuff. In some cases, it's even better because those harnesses, Jeeps and Dakotas, have lighting wiring built into the engine harness. So if you want to modernize your old school rig with, headlight relays and new stuff, good way to go. I don't ever do that. I like to keep the factory lighting, everything that can be factory stays factory. My charger, I just added the Magnum harness and little separate fuse and relay stuff right alongside the factory wiring. So the RAM setup is the best for that. You unbolt that plug from the fuse box and you're done. It's all there. So it's super nice for swaps. That's my answer. It's my favorite way to go. Jacob, you talking smack on my old truck? I don't think so. Did I say something bad? Dan says, yeah, Ranch Hand was a 4x4 step side. I think I've read that somewhere, but I don't know Ranch Hand. I know there are a bunch of them, and they're all part of Dodge's adult toys thing from the 70s. Performance pickup trucks for grown-ups. Super cool. I mean, I'm sure I love them, but it just, some interesting branding. I see a bunch more people have come in. Welcome to the live. I'm Jamie. This is the Super Boring Sunday Special, or the Let's Talk About Barracudas and Plane Crashes live chat. Feel free to chime in and say hey and ask questions. Tell me I'm annoying. And if you don't mind, hit the like button, because that does stuff. Oh, Brian, thank you very much. Happy to help. If I helped. Robert Magni? Hello from Blanchard, Oklahoma. Hello from Aberdeen, Washington. I apologize if I pronounced your name wrong. I'm pretty bad at that. Alex, LA 318 versus Poly. That's a good one. I like Polys a lot. Cannon valve like a big block Chevy, except they did it first. Oh, the heater kicked on. Hopefully that's okay. Performance trucks, Cyclone, done. Yeah, you got a good point. You are not wrong. But I like Dodges, so I don't like to even think about that. But yeah, they're awesome. Anyway, Poly 318, great cylinder head, cannon valve, super cool. They stopped making those 60 years ago, almost. So performance parts are expensive, much less plentiful. It's a super cool platform. I like it a lot. And you can build the bottom end of a Poly any way you can build an LA. You can put the same stroker crank in there. The pistons are special, and special means expensive. The intakes are special, and special means expensive. But Polys are cool. LAs, dime a dozen. They're practically free. Parts are everywhere. You can bolt a set of brand new aluminum heads on and do awesome stuff. They're lighter. They're more compact. They fit in everything. Cool. Well, at least it's not totally horrible. The LA is awesome. But I like the Poly more, I think. I don't know. They're both good. Let's just leave it at that. There are a lot of important differences. I actually have a Poly engine here now, so I should probably do a comparison video. In fact, I have all of them. I've got a Poly here, I've got LA 318, and I've got Magnum. So that would be a cool comparison. I might have to do that. And one will do that tomorrow. Yeah, you should do that. It's worth it. Dan, need to check if Dodge Jeep Magnum harness is the same. Yes, it is. Well, okay. It's not the same. So the V8 Grand Cherokee, it does not disconnect from the fuse panel like Ram Truck does. That's why I think Ram Truck is the best. Because seriously, you go to your donor vehicle, you pull the driveline, you sawzall the exhaust, you pop one connector, unbolt the motor mounts, and out she comes. So I just really like that setup. And then you clip and you find yourself a diagram and you do this. The Jeep one is integrated into the main truck harness and it wraps around the front. So it's really super stupid to pull out and deal with. Really, really annoying. Is this... Oh, David Ridgway. Hey, man, how you doing? I know that guy in real life. Fellow musician. Local rock and roller. Is a 77 LeBaron with a 318 and a 3-speed auto worth messing with? It's missing third and reverse, but it's a V8 rear-wheel drive sedan. And I like ugly cars. Yeah, I think it's worth messing with. I'm trying to think what a LeBaron is in that year. I don't know what body that is. I don't know, but it's rear-wheel drive V8. Yeah, cool stuff. I'm sure it's a 904 transmission, and those are easy enough to get hold of. Anything from 69 or 70, like an A body on up to like late 70s is probably the same transmission. I'm definitely not an expert on that car. Like I said, I don't even know what body series that is, but yeah, it's worth messing with. Hell yeah! I actually have a 904 transmission, but it's for a race car. Oh, Hank says that's FMJ. Yeah, I kind of figured. I just don't know what chassis it's on. Not an expert. Sunday Live, Depressed Death Edition. Yeah, I second that, Alex. LeBaron sounds fun. If it's cheap, it's worth doing. Darts are expensive. Muscle cars are expensive. Get what you can get, man. Ugly cars are cool. Jacob joined while I was talking about Red Expresses and Warlocks. I wasn't talking smack. I was just talking about them. Greg Gilliam, I assume, would love to have that wagon I have. Yeah, people keep saying that. I'm actually kind of surprised by all the love for that. That's my wife's, and you'll have to pry it from her cold dead hands. Yeah, the heater's a little annoying. Didn't the Poly have floating piston pins like the early 340? I don't know. I know they have forged cranks, so that's awesome. Oh yeah, by the way, Polys are awesome because they have forged cranks, and if you want to build like a super stout LA 273, 318, 340, grab one of those. Of course, the 340 in a good year would already have one, and it's cross-drilled, but that's not the point. Stout bottom end in the Poly. They may well have floating pistons. I haven't actually had one apart to look, so I'm not totally sure. I know some 318s actually got that too. I was just listening to Uncle Tony ramble on about 318s yesterday, and he said the 318-3 had floating pistons, which is cool. Wisdom Vendor. Chevy may have made a Poly first, but Mopar made a 350 Ci first. They actually didn't make the Poly first. I was going to correct myself on that, but I just, was trying to relate to things that people know about. People know about big block Chevys. Chrysler had the single rocker shaft engine in 1953? 54? Or was it 55? Can't remember. They started making the single rocker Poly because it was cheaper to produce than the Hemi. And it predates the big block Chevy. Now, the funny thing is, if you've ever heard of the ball stud Hemi, they just kind of copied the big block Chevy. But if the Poly did it first, didn't they just copy themselves? Anyway, food for thought. And yes, Mopar had the 350 first. Yes, they did. 1958. Alex Sampson. Hey, Jamie. Greetings from Los Angeles. Hope you're staying warm and dry. It is cold and dry right now. I'm in here with the world's tiniest heater, and it's a lot better than it was without it. Welcome, everyone that's coming into the chat. Feel free to hit the like button if you don't mind. But only if you like what you see. And if you don't, what are you doing? We are playing the Dead Dodge Garage drinking game. So every time I misspeak, drink. Or every time I say a super secret location I'm not allowed to tell you about. Mopar or no car. I almost bought a Ford this weekend, and I don't want to talk about it. Dan says Polys did have full floating pistons. Cool. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, they built things good back then. Zeke, yes, do the comparison. Sounds cool. History of Mopar, better than beer and knocking knees. Yeah, well, it just so happens that I am collecting all the things around here to do a comparison video. I don't know if you saw the Barracuda video I did. Oh, I started to say this like 20 minutes ago. So the Barracuda video I put out today, comparing that 67 Fastback I just picked up, thanks Tom, and the Garbage Can Cuda, is getting more views in less time than anything I've ever made. So apparently people like Barracudas. I don't have an E-body, but I do have a broken grill. So that's kind of cool. And I still have an E-body steering wheel, among other things. I will do a comparison video. Sounds awesome. I'll do it. I have everything I need. Fun fact, you can bolt the same transmission to a Poly, that you can bolt to an LA, that you can bolt to a Magnum, that you can bolt to a 3rd gen Hemi. Figure that one out. And almost to a 1st gen Hemi, actually. There's some different stuff going on there. But it's basically the same bell housing for like 70 years. It's awesome. Fun fact. Ken, recommendation on power steering for my 70B. Manual steering is killing me. Yeah, factory power steering setup is fine. So you're going to have to shorten your steering column shaft or go get a steering column for power steering. Probably easier to find that than one for manual steering. You might have to take yours apart and put pieces onto that. But yeah, the factory power steering gearbox that was used in that car is fine. Oftentimes you can just find that whole setup for sale. Pump, brackets, hoses, box. Lots of people swap to manual steering for weight and horsepower. So, yeah, just get a factory setup. It's the same gearbox for like ever. I don't know. I can't quote an exact year range, but like all B-bodies, like every B-body ever, I'm pretty sure had the gearbox you need. There are some output shaft differences, pitman arm differences between manual and power in some years. So don't quote me 100% on, again, like what year you need, which pitman arm and all that. If you find a power steering setup from a 70, you're fine. But yeah, it's the same basic crap for years. Just try and find factory parts. You'll be fine. Manual steering is great for a race car, and it's fine on the A body. My manual steering B bodies, I haven't really liked. Have I had a manual steering B body? Hold on. What am I thinking of that was just bad? Maybe I'm thinking of broken power steering. Don't worry about that. Greg, it's cool. Like a diplomat or New Yorker. Yep, makes sense, William says. Dan. Dan's our resident been there, done that guy, by the way. Dan has almost all the answers. And a lot of Barracudas, apparently. And 273s. So, all the cool shit. Dan, poly pistons are basically a flat top, zero deck in an LA318. Just need valve reliefs. They have bronze bush, small ends on the rods. Okay. Yeah, I knew about the valve reliefs. They're not like a Hemi piston with any kind of dome on them. Because for some reason I thought they weren't flat tops. But I guess the poly chamber's like partially closed anyway, isn't it? No, it's not. I don't know! I haven't looked at the inside of polys in some time. Did I misspeak? I guess I did. Alex Sampson. Do you think a world-class T5 transmission would hold up well behind a stock 318? Well, that all depends on you. T5s are kind of known to be not super strong, aren't they? But having said that, I had one in a Cobra replica behind a very stout 302 with fuel injection and a really super gnarly cam, and it was fine. So, maybe. Probably, yeah. I mean, they were behind 305s and 302s. Now, I don't remember what world class means, now that I'm thinking about it. But T5s were in Mustangs. They were in GM products. Probably fine. I bet it's fine. It's probably plenty strong for what you're going to do, I imagine. How's you going drag racing? William Anthony, wagon? Nice choice. Yeah, my wife loves that thing. We owned it once and sold it. That was a mistake. She very much regretted it, and we bought it back. And you'll have to pry it out of her cold, dead hands. Hank Reardon, first-gen Barracudas are awesome. I totally agree. Some people on the internet think I'm a complete moron for saying that. I don't understand. Like, yeah, they're not the most beautiful cars from that time. No, they're not. But they're cool. They got character. And I got two back windows for first-generation Barracudas in case anyone needs one. Normally, I'm asking $2,500 each, but today, Dead Dodge Garage Live special, $2,000 out the door. That's a steal. I saw on TV they're worth $5,000. Alex, SRT Hellcat swap in a 70s step side? I'm not saying no, but I'm saying not right now. I would love to do some third gen Hemi stuff, Excuse me. I haven't done any third gen swaps. I am going to be doing one at Rocket, and I'm really excited for that experience. That project is sort of a bucks up deal. Oh, we need this to make this fit? Okay, well, here it is in a box. Just put it together. In my universe, I don't have 10 grand to spend on a new Hemi swap, so I'll be using used car parts that I got off a random junkyard engine, putting 3 crappy Hemis together, 5.7s, to make one good one. I need to swap a piston, swap one head, clean out the chunks, make engine mounts probably, figure out the transmission spacing thing, and then figure out if I can run a stock PCM, but I probably can't, because they have anti-theft crap. Hellcat someday would be awesome. I'm way too poor for that now. If I get, like, super YouTube rich, I'll Hellcat everything. I don't even care. So look forward to that. Haven, the algorithm is figuring out you don't get nearly enough views. Yeah, and it only took a year. That's pretty good. Actually, it's only been 11 months. But, you know, who's counting? Wigwam Jones. Really loved the first-gen Barracuda and the Rambler Marlin for some reason. Fastbacks are cool. There was a time when I had the first-gen Barracuda, my last second-generation 67 Fastback Barracuda, and a 51 Plymouth Fastback. I just like them. Of course, the Marlin is, distant cousin, sort of, through marriage later. But the Marlin is interesting. I'm sure you know the, like, eerie resemblance it has to the 66 Charger. There really aren't, other than being a fastback, there aren't a lot of things you can look at on the Marlin and go, that's Barracuda, or vice versa. But you put one next to a Charger, oh my god, the back window shape, the emblem on the trunk, like, seriously, someone was copying somebody's notes. It's crazy. Marlins are neat. They are funky. There's a guy here, I haven't seen one lately, but he did have 2 of them. A white one and a red one. Kind of cool. They're neat cars. Some people want to disagree about that. I think it's ridiculous. Dan says if you want to build a low buck stroker, poly rods, 273 rods, early 318 rods, same lightweight forging, bronze bushed ends, aftermarket HP rod bolts fit. Yep. Drink! You bet, Ken. 1.81 compression height. Greg. I'll see you, Zeke. If I missed you already, have a good night. Greg, I've got a motorhome 72 440 looking to put in a 60 step side truck. That's a cool project. Sounds like fun. You only need one of everything. Hank Reardon. Oh, World Class was much stouter and easy to rebuild. Then it's fine. I mean, yeah. At least a stock 318 isn't going to chuck out 300 horsepower. I mean, it'll be fine. Hank Reardon, when my Swinger, CJ7, and Arrow are done, I'll buy an early Barracuda and rock the big greenhouse everywhere. So when I met my wife, that's wrong. Hold on. I met my wife like 15 years ago. 16, 17 years ago. Holy crap. First dated her 15 years ago. We've been married, hold on, 5.5 years? Don't shoot me. I misspoke. So you better drink. This game is gonna fuck us up. Big time. Anyway, when my wife moved back, the garbage can Cuda was my only car. I think I had something else, but it was broken. Oh, I had the Rusty truck. Rusty, the truck. But that was my only car. So that's what we drove everywhere. And it had a 360 with aluminum heads, a gnarly cam, a 4-speed overdrive, and 410 gears. We did sometimes borrow my brother's Corolla. And then we got this Satellite that we rescued out of the junkyard. And she drove that to work for a while, and the Rusty truck. My wife's cool. Then she got her wagon, drove that to work, out of the beach, half hour each way. So lots of classic Mopars back then. But anyway, the big back window Barracuda. That thing was rowdy. 3-inch glass packs, side dumps. Party. I love them. Some people think they're ugly. Those people can get wrecked. Avon's here! Robert, my 318 Magnum, now a 390 strokers, ready for the Dyno Monday. Hoping for some good numbers. I think you're going to get them. That sounds awesome. If you're here next week, let us know how it goes. I have not done any stroker stuff yet. My world is mostly like slightly modified stock. I'm not a hardcore racer. I'm not joking when I say I really think 300 horsepower is plenty for the street. I mean, when my smoky 7-cylinder 318 powered step-side Dodge can do a burnout all down the block, how much more do you need for a driver car? And everything I do is a driver car, except, excuse me, my Demon, and now my Barracuda, and I am getting into other things. I really want to do some drag race party stuff. So, a stroker's probably in my future. I really like the idea of a stroker poly. Polys are cool. They're big and heavy, so you're not going to put one in an A body, but put it in something. And that same bottom end you've got going on, other than a slightly different piston, goes right in that poly. So that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, or a 408 or a 416 out of a 340. One of these years. I do want to do that. Anyway, let us know how it goes. Dave's here, and he says, first-gen Charger Fastback is best. I really like it, obviously. It grew on me. I had yours for 9 years. When I first saw those cars, I didn't really know anything, and I just knew they were Chargers, but they didn't look right. And I actually sort of thought the side window shape was awkward, like the roof was stuck up like this. It grew on me. It really grew on me. But I think the 67 Barracuda Fastback is a better Fastback. I just think it's the best one. So that's where I'm at. But I also bought one 3 days ago. Dan Tupper almost scored a Marlin. 327 AMC and Borg transmission. I've never played with a 327. 360 sure, but, you know, later, non-muscle car, Jeep stuff. Brian Seeley, I don't want to say the Marlin came out in 65 and the Charger was 66, but you are not wrong. But here's the thing about that. The Charger design already existed. If you know anything about the turbine car, the Chrysler turbine car was an experiment. They put them on the road in the hands of regular humans, and they logged thousands and thousands of test miles to prove the concept. And they were poised to put the turbine car into production. At whatever point they decided the world wasn't ready for that. I think part of it was people were scared that the exhaust would be 2 million degrees or whatever, which it just wasn't. But the long and the short of it, I know, the turbine car is amazing. The long and the short of it is, it never made it to production. Now, I've read this. I can't confirm it, and I can't say what year this design was on the table. But I know the 66 Charger design existed before the 66 Charger hit the market. And the Marlin was a 65 model, but I believe the 66 Charger started production in September or October of 65. I don't know when the Marlin started, if it was the end of 64 or what. But the turbine car was in 64, and the design for what was supposed to be the production turbine car, apparently, as I understand, was the 66 Charger, give or take. And if you step back and you think about that, it actually makes a lot of sense. What does the turbine car have? 4 bucket seats and a full-length center console and a space-age dash. It makes perfect sense. The interior design in the Charger really resembles a cheapened, less insane version of the turbine car interior. So there's definitely some obvious DNA there. Turbine car died because it was too expensive to build and maintain. I don't know about that. I mean, as I understand, they were really reliable engines. I know the fuel economy was part of it. I know the fuel economy was god awful. But it could burn any fuel. So, drink! Because I'm so far back in the comments trying to keep up with everybody, I sometimes miss that it's time. But you guys will keep me honest. Greg, when I met my wife, I had a 68 Cornet RT. That's an awesome car. Ooh, funny story. try to catch up with everybody. But funny story. When I bought my 66 Charger, I wanted to buy a 68 Coronet from my friend Joe, who got me into Mopars incidentally. Unfortunately, the bank said that car's worthless. Oh, hey, hi, Henry. My nephew Henry's watching. Hello. Hope you're having fun. I assume you're playing Minecraft while you watch. Hopefully this is interesting, Henry. Here's a goat screaming. Anyway, I wanted to buy that 68 Coronet. I love that design. I mean, anything with the little is cool. So yeah, the 68 to 70 Coronet is a sweet car. Obviously, I prefer the Charger. It's just who I am as a person. But yeah, the other B-bodies are super neat too. Unfortunately, my bank said, no, dude, that 68 Coronet's not worth $7,000, and we're only going to give you 60% of what it is worth. So, no. I asked them about this a couple months later, or weeks or whatever. 66 Charger for $5,000, and they said, yeah, it's worth 10. Duh. And that's how I got a 66 Charger. A bank loan. Alex, sorry if I keep moving the Camaro. My holder thingy sucks. I can't actually look at the picture, but Henry says, ah! Good stuff. My nephew Henry just turned 5, and I swear he grew like 6 inches, and he's a big kid now. It's crazy. He's so big. Anyway. Alex, I second that. Daily drove a 550 horsepower, 78 Camaro for a year. Never again. Okay, that Barracuda was my daily driver. The seat of the... I didn't have numbers, but the seat of the pants dyno said, Edelbrock heads, rowdy cam, it's about 400. And fender roll headers, 410s, 4-speed. Oh my God. It was rowdy. And toward the end of driving it, I was showing off in the rain. That car was amazing. It's an overdrive 4-speed, and if you know anything about those, the gear splits are stupid, but because of the 410 gears, it was still pretty effective. That car would rip the tires through first, rip the tires through second, and it was a limited slip, by the way. And in third gear, direct drive, in an overdrive box, third gear, it would spin a little and then catch, usually. And on dry pavement, I got this down to a science, man. Tire smoke everywhere and single-digit miles a gallon. And excuse me. But this one time, I was leaving my friend Mike's house, and I had to show off. So it was a little wet out, and I banged it through first. I banged it through second. I knocked it into third, and it just went whoop, spun around backwards, and I almost crashed into a parked semi-truck trailer. And that was the end of the car for me because I realized I am not responsible enough for this. It's too much power. It's too stupid. Now that I'm actually an adult, the Demon is very similar. Similar gear, similar transmission, similar power level, same cylinder heads, the whole deal. And I like to think I'm responsible enough to not crash it. I haven't yet. But I also, I value that car a lot more than I value that beater Barracuda. So yeah, that's my point. Hellcats are ridiculous. 400 horsepower is pretty much the max of anything I'd say you should drive. So everything I play with exists in the 250, 300 horsepower range. And so I'm playing with stock stuff, and that's what I know about. Stock stuff and little bolt-ons. That is my level of expertise. Oh, hey! It's a Ben! Ben's my roommate. That's what she said. Put it in something. I have options. I don't know how many comments I'm missing. I'm going to try to get through all of them. Too much power, miss. Fine. This is tough. I need a manager. Alex Sampson, what are your future plans for the Power Wagon? Would be neat to make it a good daily driver for city traffic here because everyone will avoid and stay away from you. By the way, we love your videos. Thank you very much, Alex. I'm trying my best to make videos. Hold on. I'm trying my best to make my videos not suck. So if you're enjoying them, I guess I'm doing something right. Future plans for my Power Wagon. It's right out there. I'm working on the 4th installment. It's 4th installment, right? third installment? I don't know. I'm working on the latest installment of the restoration of the truck. As much as I like the idea of making it a daily drivable truck, the reality of them is that's not what they are. And to make them into something that you could actually use in today's world, you have to modify them far beyond what they're meant to be. And to me, that truck is a perfect example of what it's meant to be. It's a tractor. That's all it is. 3/4 of a bottle of wine down. You're killing me. I told you. You're going to get fucked up. Yeah. Power Wagon is a tractor. They had 538 or 588 gears, and they do not know what highway speed means. They do not know what modern traffic acceleration means. But that truck is just such a sweetheart time capsule. If you've seen video of it running, it doesn't smoke one little puff. It runs flawlessly. The carburetor was perfect. I just dumped gas down it and it works. You pull the choke, you hit the key, you whap the starter button, and it's off and going, and it's just happy and good. So I feel like ruining that thing and changing the drivetrain at all would be like shooting a puppy. I just love it how it is. Now, having said that, I do want to make it into a usable truck. So what I'm doing right now is converting it to a dump bed with a factory appearing step-side bed. A truck's got to have a job in my universe to stay in it. My third gen's job is being comfortable and keeping my ass warm and getting decent fuel economy and towing stuff everywhere. So it stays. I love that thing. The Power Wagon, I'm afraid if it doesn't have a job around here, it'll just sit and sit. And when something sits in my yard, it's got to go. Gotta go. So I'm turning it into a dump bed truck, and it will work. I mean, I'm not going to work it like a rented mule, but I need to run dump runs all the time. I need to bring rock in here. I move trailers around. I'm going to throw a hitch on it. I use the winch to move stuff around the yard. So that's what that thing is. Now, I'm going to treat it to a mild restoration. A rattle can restoration, as it were. In fact, I've already started on the fenders and running boards, and it looks super good for the $9 I put into it. It's not going to last forever, but it looks super good. That's my plan. I'm going to make it better than it is. I'm going to finish the 12-volt conversion. In fact, it's now got an alternator in it that doesn't work, so I have to do it again. I want lights. I want it drivable, and I will drive it. Excuse me. And around here, you know, our city ain't that big. So yeah, I'll take it across town. I'll take it out to the dump. I'll take it out to the rock place. But I'm not going to modernize it. I'm going to keep it right like it is. I had a 4BT and a 5-speed that could have gone right in that truck, and I sold them before I even had the idea to do that. I sold them because I won't. So yeah, I hope you understand and agree with that. But thanks again for watching. Was that a long-winded answer? I feel like it was. Dan says the turbine car rocks. Yes, it does. Alex. Yeah, I know Jay Leno's done. I've watched his videos on it. That's actually where I learned about it, for the most part. I've watched some other historical stuff. I've seen videos of them being... not videos, sorry. I've seen stills of them being assembled. And they're not on a normal production line. They're off in some special area, and there are guys standing around and, buttoning up shirts and putting them together. It's pretty cool. I love the turbine car. It's one of those things that, they're worth so many millions, there's no way I could ever even, boop, touch one. So I don't like to think about it, but I love everything about them, especially the interior. And just the audacity of that project. But that time in American history, stuff like that was happening, So, Alex, turbine car, look it up. Chrysler turbine car. It was an experimental vehicle by Chrysler. It wasn't just they made one. They made 50? I can't remember how many they made, but it was limited. They made some, and they gave them out to the public for testing. It was a... there's so much happening. 6. If it was only 6, that would make sense. I know it wasn't very many. But anyway, they gave them out to the public to drive them and prove the concept. It had a small turbine engine hooked to a torque flight transmission. All kinds of crazy science. I believe they had cooled exhaust of some kind. I don't remember or maybe it was the different chambers of the exhaust recapturing energy. I don't know. But the exhaust coming out the back, 54 turbine cars. Okay, I thought it was about 50. That sounds more like it. The exhaust coming out the back was safe, but people were kind of scared of it because, it's a turbine. They got horrible fuel economy. So it's a modified torque flight transmission. Calm. Modified torque flight transmission with a crazy torque converter to jive with the fact that the turbine engine idled at like 15,000 RPM. Crazy. The cool thing about them is they burned any fluid, any fuel. Drink! They burned any fuel, anything. Gasoline, alcohol, rubbing alcohol. They'd run on anything. So that's cool. The fuel economy sucked. And they probably could have improved that some, but basically it didn't pan out. The project was canceled and they scrapped all of them except 3, 2, 4. There's a small number left and Jay Leno has one of them. It's super cool and I highly recommend you watch his video on it. Whether you love Jay Leno or not, he's a little goofy. The turbine car is just the coolest thing in the world. And incidentally, it was designed by the same guy that designed the 62 Thunderbird. So there's a big, like, familial resemblance with the Rocket Bird. Kind of cool. It sort of looks like a Thunderbird going backwards, is how I heard it described. Wisdom Vendor. I had a 66 Newport Town sedan that is the factory turbine car color. Awesome. Super cool. I like that color too. Gas turbines are super reliable. M1A1 use them. Yeah, exactly. I think the engine technology was there. I think it came down to not being... It wasn't ready for the general public. The public wasn't ready to drive a turbine car. Just like the public wasn't ready for the airflow. Too advanced and just a big departure from what everyone was used to. The fuel economy wasn't there, and that was it. But but the engines, great, fantastic. Brian Seeley, I love when you explain something and I'm here shaking my head in agreement, like you can see me. That's fine. Patrick Ramberg, good morning here from Sweden. Welcome to the live chat. It is nighttime here. I don't have an actual clock, but I started at 6 and we've been going 72 minutes, so I guess it's 7:12 p.m. on the best coast. American Joe TV. I saw you somewhere say no such thing. Oh yeah, no such thing as too much power. Or I didn't know there was. We as a family had a 66 Charger. White with red interior, 400 big block. The 400 was not factory. No, it was not. White with red interior. That's cool. I randomly ran into a guy in Olympia, Washington, about an hour from where I live, one weekend, that had a white with red interior car. Super cool. I think his was a Poly. Mine was a 361. Yeah, you got it. Anyone that wants to learn about the turbine car, watch Jay Leno's garage video on it. It's super good. Tells you everything you need to know. Anyway, so yeah, that's cool. Your family car was a 66 Charger. So I had one. I bought it in 2013. I've only had 2, or I've had 3. I'm not sure. I think just 2. So the one I had for a long time, I bought in 2013. I put 3 different big blocks in it and then a fuel-injected Magnum 5.9. And I have videos about that. And then I put a 4-speed behind it. So that car went through a lot of evolutions with me. My daughter came home from the hospital in it when it was still a big block automatic, which is cool. And I didn't see myself getting rid of it because of that. It was important to her too, but I got a red 68 Charger and the 66 was just sitting out in the yard. And again, if things are just sitting around getting ruined, I don't want to be that guy. I never want to be that guy. So I let it go. But yeah, they're super cool cars, super unique. Honcho's house. AMC developed the Tarpon concept, wacky fastback Rambler American, in 63, which eventually evolved into the Marlin in 65. AMC rules. They had all kinds of wacky stuff. Drink. I'll have to look at that. I haven't heard of the Tarpon. Or Tarpon, or whatever. American Joe TV. Didn't think there was such a thing as too much power. There is for people that shouldn't have it. Dan says Monday morning scrapped. Sorry, guys. You watch my videos, so you hear me misspeak all the time. And like, I'm sure you can tell everything's off the cuff, just out of my head. Like, I'm just saying what I feel like saying. And I do reshoot little clips, because all my videos are little clips, when I goof something up super bad or I just say something extremely stupid. But hopefully you're not playing the game when you're watching my normal videos, because, yeah. My mouth moves faster than my brain, or the other way around. But they don't move at the same speed, let's just say that. Greg, do you know if there's a way to get the big-ass e-brake off the transmission of a motorhome? Yeah. Change the whole tail shaft and output shaft. Sell that thing for the $100 it's worth and go buy the right transmission. It's not worth the trouble. I've been down that road trying to figure out the same thing you're doing, and don't. Just get the right transmission. It might be hard to find in your area, I don't know, but just get a correct big block transmission. I'm assuming you're a big block. Span boats. I already forgot your actual name. See, I told you, if I didn't read it there, I'd just forget, and I apologize for that. Is it, hold on, wait, is it Rooster? Might be Rooster. My buddy has a Dodge Deuce and a half. It was an ox, or had, excuse me. Fuck! Would go anywhere. Not fast, but effective. Oh, Dan, yeah, I kind of sketched out a dump tailgate for dumping gravel. Yeah, that's exactly what I've got in mind. And I think I have it figured out. I think it's super easy. I've already got the factory chains that latch the top, right? I think the hinges on the bottom, I'll just change for like gate latches or something. So then when it's closed, or something like that, it probably needs to be that same diameter, put in bushings. Brass bushings would be smart. Rooster, yeah, okay, cool. Good night, Alex. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. I'll try to keep making the videos good. Let's get back through everything here. Where was I? Not fast, but effective. Yeah, that's what the Power Wagon is. Sorry, I forgot to add that. But yeah, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be effective. Look forward to off-roading videos, too. I am going to do that. You don't get this kind of stuff everywhere, guy. Yeah, but Dan, so here's my genius idea. Just slide pins. Just hand slide pins, either actual gate latches with bushings around them, or just make them, an L piece to slide out. So if they're in, pop the chains, drop it down with the chains. Easy. Excuse me. Leave the chains in, slide the pins, and it will pivot on those top catches to about like that, I think. If that's not far enough, I can make some modifications, but I think it'll be sufficient. And I think it'll be really easy. Back. What did I miss? A lot of drinking. Sorry guys, I'm a little slow here. I'm getting long-winded because I keep misspeaking and having to drink. American Joe TV. Oh, I forgot to respond to your other comment. No, I did. Never mind. There is such a thing as too much horsepower, and it's in the hands of people that shouldn't have it, and I'm one of them. Older Power Wagons are gorgeous. Yeah, I completely agree. They're one of the most... They're just so utilitarian, but also beautiful, because they're from that round body era, and people loved and appreciated them so much. They started production right after World War II, and only stopped in America, being sold in America, after the 68 model year. They were basically the same truck for 20 years. They kept being made for export, and they actually got slant sixes and like power brakes and stuff. They just stayed the same because they were just the best. They were great. They had that utilitarian thing. I mean, there were rolling changes with the beds and designs and the dashes and what have you, but they really didn't change. They are special trucks. they're the first, if I'm remembering correctly, American production 4-wheel drive truck you could buy. I don't know which hit the market first, the Power Wagon or the Jeep. I don't think we need to count the Jeep as a truck, although they did sort of the same job around farms and stuff. But Power Wagons are beautiful. The lines are amazing. They look like nothing else, and people tell me all the time, I love that thing. That's my dream truck. I want one of those super bad. And I understand. I am super lucky to have the one I have. And it's beat to shit, but it runs amazing, and I love it. So the rest of your comment. My uncle had a Warlock that was lifted, 78, I think. Dark green with smokestacks. I gotta get an older Power Wagon. Like you said, truck it. Yep. My sister. So what do we think of a Chevy Nova? I don't know. Cool. Depends on the year. I'm way behind. I gotta catch up. 727 or 904. I don't know what you were asking that about. I saw them being destroyed on video. They ran on booze. Oh yeah, they ran on everything. I said alcohol, right? MM's projects. Whoa, Jamie using big words now. I know a few. Alex's favorite car is a Chevy 70 Nova SS. Yeah, that's cool. I do like them. I almost took a Nova in trade for my Cobra. It was a really good car, but it was 73, and I don't like that one as much. I just decided it wasn't worth it. K-Man, Weissenbach, way off topic. Doesn't matter. If it's a Mopar question, it's on topic. I want to put an A833 into my automatic 73 Cornet. Do you know, can I get all my donor parts from a truck? The short answer is no. The long answer is also no. A833 did come in some trucks. Your pedals aren't going to work. Your pivot isn't going to work. Your Z-bar isn't going to work. Nothing works. The 833 transmission, if you already have that, that's the important piece. You can get a floor hump from AMD. You can get a lot of parts from Rocket Restorations on eBay. A lot of reproduction 4-speed parts available, and everything that we don't have, get from Brewers. Brewers have everything. I'm going to try and catch up to the end of the chat. We'll see how that goes. American Joe got sold to a guy in England when Grandpa passed. Dang it. Most of my young memories were Grandma driving around in it. That's amazing. Zartav, which is actually by Ron. You know, I should have chose beers instead of vodka, ginger ale, Moscow mules. Tonight will be funner than normal, but not as fun as last night. Alex pieced out. I said bye. I remembered Rooster's name. That all worked out great. Looking to score a blueprint or two on the tailgate. Let me know what you need, Dan. I got a tape measure and some paper. Byron, tree bouncing is not what we'll be doing with the Power Wagon. We'll be doing tree dodging. But I do want to use it. I mean, it is an awesome 4x4. It's like the original 4x4. We got to see what it does. And like all Dodge trucks, it crawls. You remember what the Iron Goat did. I'm pretty sure the Power Wagon's going to be even better because it's got crazy gearing and big tires. Adult ADD describes Jamie and Rooster, and that's why you like my videos. That and the Mopars. American Joe, yeah, Power Wagon was the example of don't change it if it works. You're damn right. It worked great. The flathead stayed in production for that truck. I mean, it was probably in other stuff. Town wagons too, actually. But it was just good. It just worked. Although I think by then they were the bigger Chrysler one. Dan Tupper, thought an Aussie Hemi 6-banger would be cool to drop into an older car or truck. Yes, it would. I'd love to get my hands on one. Oh, Pornbots, guys. If you need to go to the best dating site, just hop over to whatever the hell, Girls S4 XYZ. Tom, don't think Jamie mentioned the new 67 Barracuda has an 8 3/4. I wasn't going to spoil the surprise yet. Is it going to be funny when I take it out and put a 7 1/4 in for better gas mileage? And use the 8 3/4 in the Barracuda, and then I don't have to take that dart apart, and then I'll just sell it. Rooster says Warlocks were made 77 to 79. 79s were special order. You could get a 440. Actually, they had Warlock earlier than that. We worked on a 70... Oh, now I don't remember if it's 75 or 76. But they existed before the Little Red. I know, well, you said 77. Little Red was 78 and 9 only. But the Warlock was definitely around earlier than the Little Red. The Little Red was kind of like a special Warlock. Kind of. Buddy builds 9-yard dump trucks. Neat. My sister says, our whole damn family is the exact picture of ADHD. Tom says, sorry. It's okay, we'll live. Yeah, 76. Okay. Yep, that's what it was. Yeah, when I had the engine shop, I did a really stupid trade job for a first-gen Cummins 2-wheel drive, extended cab, long bed, dually 5-speed truck, which was super cool. The guy that owned the Warlock paid $900 for that goddamn truck, traded me the truck for restoring his stupid Warlock, putting the drivetrain together anyway, and then made me pay for the drivetrain. Now, did I make $3,000 on it? Yes. But I took that Warlock project on like an idiot, and it was around for like 5 years. My daughter was... It showed up before she was born. I got that dually before she was born. And I think it went away when she was 5. Maybe 4. Anyway, it was around for a long time. But it was definitely 76 at the latest, because it had that grill, mid-70s grill. Dan says, ADHD may be a common hot rodder thing. Yeah, that certainly would make some sense. I don't know. I hate to say this. Uncle Tony had a super good video on this yesterday. Building hot rods is just a series of dopamine hits, and you're just going from project to project trying to get your next high. And yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Oh, my knees are killing me. I didn't do anything today. At least not much. I stayed up way too late drinking frosty adult beverages. I did go manage to get a roller. Hydraulic lifter slant 6 engine out of storage. Stole a perfectly good 4-speed from my brother. Machined a flywheel for a slant 6 4-speed Barracuda project. That was about it. Exactly. Yeah, that's what it is. Makes perfect sense. I've said this on video. Listening to Uncle Tony, just so much of what he says makes sense. Until he starts talking about the end times. My phone battery's gonna die here, guys. We'll see if we make it to 2 hours today. I don't know if we will. Alex, projects keep me out of trouble. Yeah, going project to project to project to project is what filled a lot of my teenage, let's say, grumpiness. I've found it works really well for me. I've never tried medication, but loading myself up with way too much to do has worked pretty well so far. Excuse me. Sometimes it's a little stressful, but yeah, that's what it is. It's good times. And if I'm not having fun anymore, I just abandon the project and I sell things and, keep moving. Brewster says, Little Red and Warlock were made the same time. 440s were done in 78. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you know this. They had some left over, and they made their way into a lot of motorhomes and stuff. I've seen a 440 in something as new as either 1980 or 1981 in a motorhome. But, motorhomes were always, late. My sister says, dopamine hits, yes, but also problem solving is very attractive to ADHD brains, and you do a lot of it. Yeah, I do. That's actually where I get a lot of my kicks, figuring out dumb problems. My brain was built to do that. It wasn't built to remember birthdays or know how to buy presents. Anyway, that's nothing specific I'm referencing. Wigwam Jones. Everything that was going on in Warlock days. Factory custom hippie vans, Ford Pinto wagons with portholes, etc. We were all stoned. Yep, can tell. Buddy in Wisconsin has one with 8K on it. Wow. K-Man, thanks for the answer. I'll definitely check out those sites. I've been trying to ask Uncle Tony for weeks. Yeah. Well, there's more people in his lives. That's all I'm saying. American Joe TV. Jealous. I miss those times. Dude, I missed all those times. Someone said something a bit ago about, what was it? They sold something in 1990. I was born in 1990. I missed all the fun times. Except the ones I'm making now. And that's what we're doing, guy. We're making our own fun. Freedom Fighter, hey, what's going on? I'm glad you made it too. Loved my latest Barracuda video. Yeah, cool. I enjoyed it. I'm working on an actual video on the 67, putting that together, but I decided I had the two parked next to each other and it wasn't raining, and I thought, hey, what the hell, And I'm really surprised by the response so far. It's gotten more views per hour that it's been out than any video I've ever made, and that includes the 68 Charger Mecum video from 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I don't know. That is now at 83,000 views. So I must be doing something right. Super awesome. Glad people are noticing, and I'm glad you liked it. Anyway, look forward to a feature video on that car coming up. I'll just spoil the surprise for you because I already did for everybody else. Slant 6. 4-speed. Hell yeah. Party. Gotta go. Getting late. See you, Greg. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, yeah. Tom says the NOS 400 block that he has is dated mid-79. Yeah, it's as late could be. Dump trucks got 440s as well. Yes, I know that. I think there's other industrial stuff. I know they supposedly ceased big block production in 78. Apparently not across the board. But they were still available in things, and they hung around for some time. Woo! I'm gonna need another can. My sister says, I'm sure it has nothing to do with your day yesterday. The Chrysler Ox motor was used in trucks, motorhomes, and industrial vehicles was a 413. Yeah, M361, apparently. I've read that the 361 and 413 were both industrial engines that stayed in production forever, even though those sizes were no longer available in passenger cars and pickups and stuff after the mid-60s. They were around till the end. They still made those sizes. Dang! Mrs. Dan informs me I have 20 plus engines. Dude, don't make me count how many engines I have. I was at my storage unit today. It's out behind our old shop, incidentally. So we got a unit there to try and clean the shop one year. And so we took all of our extra engines that weren't immediately going in projects or being built over there. And then we just filled all the spaces that we had emptied with more engines. There's a few around. I don't know if I have 20 plus just sitting around outside of things right now, but someone asked me about 360s. I don't know if that was last week's live or what, but I started counting, and let's just say I've got many running in vehicles or sitting around. I got a few. COVID. Oh, almost sold. Damn it. This game sucks. Almost sold the 79 step side today, but the guy and his dad both got COVID and they're sick as shit. So they couldn't come get it. My sister says I'm a young whippersnapper. Yeah, you're just fucking old. Yeah. Wisdom Vendor. Do you have any thoughts on Mark Warman of Graveyard Cars? I think he's a bit too full of himself, but maybe that's just an act. He sure knows factory Mopar aspects, it seems. When you watch his interview sections where he's actually explaining stuff, it's very obvious that he knows these cars, he knows his shit, he knows what he's doing. Okay? All the crap being pissed at people on, it's TV, it's what it is. I don't do that, and I don't fucking like it, and that's why I don't watch their show. Having said that, it's cool. They're doing cool stuff. I absolutely think he's putting on an act for TV. Maybe he's really full of himself. I don't know. To be willing to be on TV, you probably have to be that to a certain degree. But yeah, I don't question for a minute that he's a super, knowledgeable guy, big in the hobby, and knows his stuff. I'm not a real Mopar guy. I just play one on TV. Freedom Fighter. Hell yeah! Looking forward to it. Slant 6 4-speed. Cool. Yeah, my brother actually put together that drivetrain. It's an 80s hydraulic cam Slant 6 out of a pickup truck. Sweet running engine. Our friend Dan took it out of a step side and did a 318 swap. Someone was asking about that earlier. Keep the slant or do the 318. Well, Dan went 318. And so, yeah, my brother got the engine. He had a 4-speed iron overdrive from somewhere and a bell housing. Oh, the bell housing for this setup that's going in this car came from Dylan McCool. Super cool. He mailed it to my brother. Awesome. So yeah, so my brother had that full setup together and for sale on Facebook, and no one wanted it for some reason. So anyway, I called it a brotherly favor. He was going to put it in a Duster. His original car, his first car was the Duster, 73 that we cloned to look like a 72. And he sold it finally after having it forever. Excuse me. Sold it. This is bad. Sold it to a younger guy who immediately drove it through a ditch and ruined the front unibody. So my brother was going to buy his car back, rebuild it out of junkyard parts, and put the Slant 6 4-speed in it, which would have been super cool. But it didn't happen. Other things happened. We closed the shop. He didn't have the space, and he just kind of let the Duster go. But yeah, super cool. All the parts are just here, and I could go grab them. And that's what said to me, Slant 6 Barracuda with a manual transmission factory, I can make this happen. I can make this happen fast. And that's what I'm going to do. Dan, most engines were available 5+ years after the end of production or warranty replacement. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And that's probably why Tom has a 79 date-coded 400 brand new in a box. I mean, someone bought it to replace a blown-up engine. So, yeah. I mean, you could buy a 426 Hemi from Chrysler for decades after they cease production. So, makes good sense. 42 Monkey Man. I have a Dodge 5.9 360 from a 76. Any tips for... Sorry, my drink's empty, guys. Any tips for getting my timing right? I've replacing my distributor. You are replacing or you have replaced. Either way. Yeah, a couple tips. I mean, number one, if you took a distributor out of it and put another one back in, make sure it's pointed the same way and you're going to be close. The rotor on a Mopar is super easy. It can only point north or south for the winter. I can't just pause the live stream and go get another drink. I'm going to have to switch to water. Trying to keep up with shit. Yeah. Make sure the distributor rotor is pointed the right way. On a Mopar, it can only point the right or the wrong direction. Make sure the body is orientated roughly the same way, and you're going to be really close. If you're going by a total guess, you need to bring it up to TDC and make sure you're on the correct rotation. You could stab it in 180 out. Super easy to do. But yeah, basically that's it. Point it roughly where it was and try to start it. And if it just won't run or if it pops out the carburetor, advance it, which on your 360 is turning the distributor counterclockwise. That advances the timing. If you try to start it and it goes, retard it. Grab the distributor, turn it clockwise. That retards the timing. There you go. Get it fired up, and then go watch my video about the 5-minute fix. And I have a lot of good tips in there about just quick tune-up, getting the timing by ear, what to listen for, that sort of stuff. So that's going to be the best information I can give you. Hopefully you took the distributor out so you know which way the rotor was pointing and roughly where the body was, and you can get it in the ballpark. Dan says there's a local blue and white 76 Ram Charger with a low compression 340 crate engine that a dealership installed in 80. Huh, interesting. Low compression being 72, 73. Rooster's been around since the earth cooled. Ruben says, Mark lives 35 miles from me. Okay, I actually have two Mark Worman stories. One of them is 2 years ago, year and a half ago, don't remember. Yeah, it must have been last year. I had a 72 Fury 3 sedan and that I was parting out. And a lot of comments, not going to get caught up again. Anyway, I was parting out this Fury, or trying to sell it whole. And someone named Mark reached out to me saying, hey, what kind of shape are the door panels in? I'm building myself a tribute cop car. And I, took a bunch of pictures and sent them to him. And then I realized later, this guy looks familiar. And it was Mark Worman. He didn't buy my door panels. They weren't quite nice enough, but that's okay. My second Mark Worman story is this. Recently, I was driving south on 101 for some reason, and there was an Explorer in front of me to turn onto the Astoria Megler 5 Mile Bridge, and the license plate said... I don't know what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was his. Could have been his wife, who knows. I can't remember if it was like his name abbreviated, or if it was like, maybe he's a little bit of an ego trip, or if it was like, Graveyard Cars, or just, I don't remember. But anyway, that's the closest I've ever been. Wigwam Jones, I remember the earth cooling. I was already old then. Christ was not even a cowboy at that point. K-Man, hey, one more question. Working on my Coronet Slant 6 head. You've got a Slant 6 Coronet? That's awesome! Can you tell me what's the biggest lift I can run without cutting anything? No, I really can't. I'm not an expert on that. I think you can run quite a bit of lift with the Slant 6 head before you run into anything. Magnums have big problems with the valve guide being too tall or whatever, and then you can have retainer to guide problems. I've never heard of that with the Slant 6. The thing is, you're not going to run a humongous cam anyway because it's a Slant 6. No, I can't tell you exactly. www.slant6.org? Those people probably know. American Joe, I've been searching for a Ram Charger build. I'm in Commie, New York, and there's tons of rusted out carcasses up here. Any suggestions of any on the right coast? It is the right coast. I know I saw further down, sometimes it just scrolls to the bottom, and I saw Tom say, shipping's easier than rust, and he's damn right. I can't tell you where to find any. Water? Cheater. Email Jamie if you're looking for a Ram Charger. Just found a really clean one in California. Well, there you go. Tom's on top of it. I work for Tom at Rocket Restorations. You can email me, and I will facilitate. jamienoise@gmail.com. JAMIENOISE@gmail.com. Send me an email if you're interested in that. Aaron Kane, not a car question. Do you need egg containers? No, because when we were at the shop, for a long period of time, my brother would make brunch fist like every single day, and we have a stack of egg cartons like this. They're going to last us quite a bit longer. Definitely through the winter. But if that changes, I'll let you know. Tom, that's way too far, giving I'm willing to travel at home. Yeah, shipping's a lot cheaper than fixing rust. It's totally right. Rooster says I need to find him a wagon like the wife's. I'll try. Does anyone mind if Jamie leaves for a few to get a drink? Honestly, Jamie kind of does. Jamie drank too many drinks last night. Aaron's smoking scuba and watching me. Boost the algorithm and hit the thumbs up button. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you get notifications and you don't miss a single video. And send me money. I'll answer your questions for free. But if you send me money, I'll answer your questions and say thank you. Boost the heck out of that algorithm. Aaron Kane, my friend, who for a time lived on my couch and was a car salesman at the local Chrysler Deep Jaw. I'm sorry, you guys are going to be shithoused. Everybody in the live chat's calling in tomorrow. What's the biggest thing you ever did seen, Big Drum? Texas. Tom, had some guys out from New York this summer. They couldn't believe how clean our rusty cars are out here. Stuff just doesn't rust that bad. Yeah, seriously. I personally couldn't believe they drove all that way, but it is an amazingly rare car they came to get. So, checks out. But yeah, we get quarter panel rust here. We do get, we get rust, but we don't get rust. I'm amazed by that. I mean, seeing cars from the 70s, in the 70s or the 80s that the quarter panels are gone over the wheel wells. We don't have that stuff. Dan says, have a former Wasco County, Oregon Sheriff's Ram Charger. That's awesome. Don't tell Tom. He'll want to buy it. American Joe TV. Yeah, it's a different kind of rust. Your patina. God damn it. Your patina is pretty much my rust. Your rust. Okay, well, that was worded wrong. That's, in my defense, it's not my fault. He's been playing the drinking game too, probably. Our rust is patina. Your rust is cancer. Yeah, totally. Dustin, Blackvine. Love the video on the 84. Hope it does well. And we can do a take 2. Yeah, we got to get you over here with an oxygen sensor. And then we got to dive into the Mega Squirt. The people have demanded a kind of walkthrough wiring guide of how the Mega Squirt is set up on the Magnum and just the base settings. And as soon as, a commenter said that, I went, yeah. Why didn't I go over all of that? Am I stupid? I don't need another drink, guys. I can't. It just gets worse if I can't talk anymore. Dan's been playing the game. Kind of needs to go to somebody that isn't going to trash it. American Joe TV. Love this channel. Being a Mopar, no car kind of guy. You're the bestest. Thanks, bud. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I wouldn't have a channel if people didn't think it was good. And I really appreciate all that. It's been pretty cool. The odd guy comes along and says that I'm the most annoying person they've ever heard. But mostly it's been super positive. And I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Every time you watch, I make a few cents on ad revenue. And I'll just tell you guys, I'm totally transparent on this stuff. My paycheck for October from YouTube is going to be about $700. And November is not that much yet, but it's looking pretty good. So again, I really do appreciate all of you for watching. I love my job. My boss is watching, so I have to say that. My battery's dying. My boss is watching, so I have to say I love my job. I really do. I love what I'm doing, but someday maybe I'll just be doing YouTube, and that's a pretty cool thing. So thanks again. Yeah, Tom loves old cop cars, has like 10. Had a 91 XCHP Ram Charger he sold last year. Tom and his brother, Gary, recently bought what they thought might be a Washington State Patrol car. And there are 2 others sitting out that I kind of worked on one of them, and I took the other one down to get VIN inspected. So he was buying this Fury. And I said, oh, great. Now we're going to have 3 Washington State Patrol cars. And he laughed and said, you think I only have 3? Shots! Rooster says, I sent you money last week to get your daughter a Happy Meal. And I did. Thank you, Rooster. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Caitlin says, I swear Aaron Ghost roams Aaron's... God damn it! Aaron's ghost roams this house despite him not being dead. I don't have enough battery life to go out, get another drink, and get it done. So we're just going to call that there. I am at 10% battery. We're almost at 2 hours. We might make it, but I might get cut off. If I do, thank you everyone for hanging out. Thanks for your questions and your positivity. I really appreciate you coming along on the ride for me. So that's super cool. Aaron's ghost roams the Jefferson house, despite him not being dead. Brian Seeley says, out here in the Northeast, we get rust. I know. When I see cars like that, I just get scared. Mitch Amsbury, hey, how's it going? I'll tell you how it's going. I borrowed a car trailer to move a truck to another shop that's not going there, but I have a car trailer that's not broken, so I'm going to go pick up your Chrysler tomorrow. But I'm also going to try and put a slant 6 and a 4-speed in a Barracuda tomorrow. It might be a long day. Other than that, it's going pretty good. I filmed a brief clip of your Dart for my Barracuda video I put out today. And I stared at it for a few minutes and wondered when the hell I'll have transmission parts. I know that's not your fault. Destin says, we can't leave the people wanting. We absolutely cannot. And Neanderthal Man popped in. Good evening to you. Glad to see you. Yes, that is a Mitch. It, Amsbury. It'd be him, see? Cheating. And Peter's here. They're cruising around in your Focus now, Mitch. Should have bought it myself. Question for Tom. I don't know what that's about. The person who pays my paychecks, Tom, is kind of a big deal in the Mopar world. It's humbling to have him in my little pokey live chat. Wisdom Bender. My 68 Charger has almost no rust and has been an Alabama, Mississippi car all of its life. And was factory undercoated. Amazing me how much high rust old Mopars are selling for. Yeah, I've been arguing with people in the comments on that Charger RT Mecum video because I personally have seen a 68 RT. Good Lord. It might be time to stop before all you guys are just fucked for tomorrow. I can't talk anymore. I have personally seen a 68 RT project car with rust everywhere sell for $35,000, and people keep popping into the comments and telling me that that car is only worth 10 to 20 grand because it's so messed up. Having said that, yeah, it's crazy what they sell for. I completely agree. I wish they didn't, but they do. That's our reality, and it sucks. Oh yeah, Byron's here too. A bunch of people I know in real life are here today. A lot of the people that were at my house yesterday too, for some reason. Rooster, did you know you can dry out chicken nuggets, drill and tap them, then you can have chicken lug nuts? I didn't know, but I'm not surprised. Byron's drunk, without question. Wife said I could just stop, but I'm not Jamie, so wow, it's pretty messed up. Dan's friend Bilbo used to score state trooper cars at auctions for the 440s. Yeah, we were talking about that before. 440s for donors. But why don't you just drive the cop car? It's awesome. Aaron says, why are we drinking? I don't drink, but I'll do a few neck hits to catch up. Let me explain the Dead Dodge Garage drinking game. Every time I misspeak, you have to drink. And as you can see, that gets pretty rough. Also, there's an alternate version based on last week's live where you drink every time I say a super secret location I'm not allowed to tell you about. Mitch says, if you need some help with that, let me know. Think I'm available all day tomorrow. Well, all right. We might just be putting a big trailer on a big Chrysler on a trailer and making some videos. I'm not drunk. I had one. American Joe. Thanks, fam. Good night. Be safe. Don't leave the dome light on. That's bad for the chicken. Have a good night, Joe. Thanks for hanging out. Byron doesn't work tomorrow. Well, yeah, you're seasonally unemployed. All right, well, you can, no, seriously, come help me. I do have to tow a slant 6. God damn it. I do have to tow a Chrysler for Mitch, but I'm putting a slant 6 4-speed in a Barracuda, and I really do need help. I also have to go to the junkyard. It's going to be a really long day. You almost bought a 4-door Corolla? You should have. I love Corollas. I think I've told you that. Oh, K-Man, thanks for the tip. Really appreciate it. I promise to spend it on chicken nuggets. My sister hasn't cruised in, what, my Charger? Or something else. Mechanics, good evening. Welcome. Or the Focus, probably the Focus. Aaron Kane OD'd on the weeds. He did one weeds, and now his life is over, and he haunts the Jefferson house. Yep. Wisdom Vendor. If you microwave instant rice, do you go back in time? Let me answer your question with another question. If a blue Geo Metro and a red Geo Metro are traveling in opposite directions at exactly the same speed, and they crash head-on, does that tear the fabric of space-time asunder and open a portal to another reality? I think it does. And I'm willing to test the theory. Well, I think we just have a couple minutes of battery life left. Heck, we might have less than that, and we're getting real close to the 2-hour mark, and it's just about dinner time. Dan says tomorrow is just another day off. Lucky you! I gotta do shit. So if there's anything else, any questions you need profound answers for, or things of that nature, feel free to throw them out. If my battery dies, which it might do any second, I thank y'all for hanging out. Super awesome. Good night, Dan. Hope you're working on screaming 273s or the Barracudas that are gathering in your yard like stray cats. Byron, opinion on four-door cars because proper muscle cars are too damn spendy now. Exactly. Yeah, my opinion is they're cool. Aaron, it's bath time for me mediumist. Ah, very good. The mediumist girl. Love you, Jim. See you, Aaron. I'm not going to say I love you on live. Ben says, Wisdom Vendor. How fast does a zebra need to run to appear gray? When this zebra hits 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some pretty serious shit. Attack furballs is what I call them. Yeah, I know what you meant. Man, no one called me annoying or told me how to run my YouTube channel today. That's a little disappointing. After the first live, people told me to bring a guitar in here, and I did, but it doesn't really agree with the cold, so I can't pleasure you all with a tune. Dan says the stink dog is worse. Completely agree. Byron, hey, you're running this bad. Guess you should just end the video. Oh, four-door cars. I got distracted. Four-door cars are cool. They're cheaper. They're almost just as neat. And your family fits in them. There's no four-door Charger, but there's all kinds of other cool stuff. I think they're cool, worth building, worth buying. I like them. Do I feel complete now? Yeah, pretty close. YT viewer. Love the Barracuda video. Notchbacks are still better. Yeah, agree to disagree. JMR. Hey, Jamie. New subber. You're hilarious. Great car videos. You're annoying. Yeah, I get that a lot. But I got you anyway. Sometimes I put out videos and people start unsubscribing. I'm not sure which video it is. It might have been the pressure washing video. I don't know. One of the ones I put up after 300 people subscribed from the Meekum video. And more people have unsubscribed than subscribed. Oh, Ben's warning me now about a bean smell. That's great news. Chargers have 2 doors, not 4. At least real ones. Yes, I agree. Although I must say, the newer Chargers are cool. I really do like the lines. They really copied the old Chargers correctly. And having back doors to put your kids in is fine. I understand people saying, that's not really a Charger. I get that. But, you can have a Hellcat and a 4-door car that you can use as a car. I'm just saying, it's kind of cool. And on that terrible disappointment, guys, I guess I'll just quit while I'm ahead. Wisdom Vendor. Have you considered doing a Discord channel so there can be less typing and more actual conversation? That would be cool. I haven't considered it. I'll consider it now. My thoughts on the Chrysler CUDA. Do you mean the idea of Chrysler putting out the Challenger as a CUDA? It's not actually going to happen. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, bad at stuff. Newest Charger will come with its own charger. Ooh! Alright, I'm going to leave you guys with a controversial opinion, and then I'm out. And I'll probably say words wrong, and then you'll all have to finish your drinks too. Controversial opinion. I think the new electric Charger concept car is fucking cool. It looks awesome. I wish the side back window looked less like an Audi A5. But other than that, I really like it. It's really neat. And I might buy one. Probably not. And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end the live. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week, probably. Same bat time, same bat place. And we'll all get shit housed. Discord channel. I haven't thought about it, but now I'm thinking about it. Not against it. Might be cool. I'm in too many Discord channels already, but it will be fun. So yeah, I'm not saying no. We'll see. The fake sound needs to be tweaked. They're going to fix that. It's fine. I'm a bigger fan of hybrids too. I'm going to buy one. See you, Brian. Thanks. Ford Chargers a Cornet. You're damn right. Same bat station. See you, everybody. I'm out of here. Have a good night. Yes.